Malaspoichi. Great lunar, great peace, great wisdom and understanding to all that are listening. Right now, it is 2:30 a.m. Central Time, and Donald Trump is all over the news. And he's talking about Joe Biden. He's talking about the economy. He's talking about the Israel and Palestine conflict, among other things. And I just want to briefly touch on this right here, this tab. First session, 1946, 1947, goes without saying, right after the order of the League of Nations. And you will see this is dated November 3rd, 1950, the question of Palestine. The situation in the Middle East. All of this is prevalent. So they still, like, we're behind. They still haven't solved the conflict that happened right after World War II with the resettlement of the people from Germany who tried to keep the covenant that we gave them in Mosaic law, which is why the United States and Israeli are allies. They still haven't solved this conflict. And obviously, they haven't let the people resettle here, but they did give them certain privileges and immunities as far as banking, because they're getting rich off our culture as far as hip hop goes. So right here it says it says February 27th. That's Black History Month, 2022. So you already know blacks are also Ukrainians. If you can look deeper into that resolution, 26, 23. Yeah, a little lat right there, Ukraine. So it says principles of the Charter of the United Nations underlying a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in Ukraine. Plenary. So this is where we're at right now. We don't know by 2030, 2063, well, beyond 2030, we don't know if this still is going to be going on in 2063 as far as the issue in Ukraine, because they're very nationalistic, and also Russia is very nationalistic. We don't know what's going to happen with that. We do know that Europe is having a problem with birth rates, so we don't know how that's going to collide with the, again, 2063 agenda. So we got to keep our eye on that. Here, this is authorization of the Economic and Social Council to request adversary opinions of the International Court of Justice. All right, so that directly affects Ukraine and Israel. Privileges and immunities of the staff of the Secretary of the United Nations. Refugees and displaced persons. So we have a lot of displaced persons in America. We have people going from Muskegon, Michigan, down to Houston, Texas. We have a lot of people from Chicago, Illinois, going to Las Vegas and Nevada, and also going to Atlanta, Georgia. And we have a lot of people from New York City, New York, Empire State. They're traveling, ending up in places like Virginia, Florida, and also California. So we have a lot of displacement going on. And obviously, the elected officials, politicians, they're not getting to the crux of the problem, and they're not solving the equality issue. Some people are getting more aid than others. Certain people are getting more privileges and immunities than others. And that's the underlying issue that we're dealing with. So we saw a couple years ago a lot of people um, of our persuasion, they were taking out PPP loans and they were spending this on uh, the Chargers, these Hellcats, and obviously we don't see any of that right now. As far as our travels, when we are out and about, we don't see these type of expensive cars, or we don't see any other luxuries going on. So a lot of that money has ran out, and like you can see, as far as the other aid goes, um, a lot of that is drying up. So like we have people who are getting involved again in child harboring, organ harvesting. They get involved in human trafficking, as far as selling women to get certain, uh, I would say, immunities, privileges, as far as like getting construction projects built. They're doing this to get, again, certain positions in industries. And this is an issue. Um, you have, to their misunderstanding, where they're getting unloadments. They're getting freight dropped off there, whether it be by sea or by land. Um, they're going to car lots and they're signing up for car notes. They're going along with the credit score system. Everybody wants an 800 credit score, so they're going along with this. And when they're on the car lot, they're talking to the salesperson, they're talking to the sales team. They're not asking these people for the bill of lading. They're not asking them for the audit sheets. They're not asking them for the country of origin in which this vehicle came from, like all of this here, and they're not asking for it. But of course, you have people coming from Ukraine and Israel. They already know this information and they're not going to talk about it. So a lot of people are trying to wonder, like, why is the wealth gap so huge? And it's like, it just doesn't make sense at this point. Like, people are just trying to understand, like, why do people have more than other people? So that's where we're at right now. So like the world problems, they have to be fixed. There's going to be a lot of displacement in the future. I wouldn't go to so far as saying that there may be another time that like that we may have another situation that happened like in World War II, where we're going to have like a lot of fatalities. Because right now on the international forum, they're talking about human cloning, and obviously we're already in that period. So all I can say is be prepared. Don't go into that to get any things such as like a mansion or a home. Don't do it. I would just say like if you can travel, like I would say just do that. Try to make business deals in like other countries, because people are leaving other countries, and like those countries, they're going to welcome a different type of industry, whatever industry that is you're bringing. And like in our case, like we basically we're down for it as far as like music. Everybody wants to learn our language, so that's another thing that we can offer. We obviously are very good at labor, so that's something that we can do. Whatever that we need that we can offer, we can pretty much contend with the best of them. So um, I would go so far as say is if you can, I would say join um, a legislative, join a government. Like if you can shape policy in another country, I would say do that. And again, I don't want this to be mistaken for some type of um, hate speech or anything like that. But this is something that we need to look into because we need to look out for the next generations that are coming up. Um, Millennial generation, they didn't get to see their outlinement of the world's progress. Gen Z is on track to not achieve their sustainability. So we need to make sure that the generations after get to see what it is that they're in for. So let's look into this. We need to share this information right here that is very crucial. We need to share it. We need to make sure that people understand it. We need to make sure that people can benefit from this information while they have got going on whatever it is that they got going on. We need to make sure that this information is spread because a lot of people don't know this information. So let's get to it. Mashako, great piece. Back in this second segment. I wanted to touch on this before I get sidetrack a little bit. The Afro diaspora and the other countries facing East. You know, it was just like yesterday where I was looking at a guy from the Ivory Coast. He did an archive on these people here. He went and visited them, and like the thing you notice is that these people here, like these are people you would want to gather experience from. You would definitely want to get to know them. They have a lot of history that you want to gather. And like the thing that I notice is that these people, their numbers are very, very dimwit. They're not large. A lot of people over there in the nihilistic Middle East. So here you have the Afro Turks. It says their total population is between 5,000 and 20,000. And then you have here people called the city. Their total population is somewhere around 1 million. So like, you have to wonder, like, on average, as you head west, you're dealing with populations between monotheistic people on average per capita, maybe I would say this is a common number thrown out in the news, 40 million. So you're looking at numbers like from the United States of America on into the Ivory Coast, on into Sierra Leone, on into South Africa, into Ethiopia, Nigeria, any of these places. So it's saying Zanzibar somewhere. Like, you look at all these places, and these are the only people who have a lowly compile number as far as their their nations. So, like, are these people the original people of these lands? All right. So they're saying this person right here is a Turk. I think I'm not sure she's Zench, which is a Persic origin. I'm not sure, but she would look like. Oh, that's interesting. My name, Denizili. All right, so you would think like, will their numbers compromise? Because yeah, I would say, do you think are their numbers compromised because of what took place in World War II? Because again, it's much technology that's advanced. Our parents, our grandparents, they didn't see the libraries that we're seeing right now. Um, you can look back as far as 1950, 1960. Like, did they hear about Adolf Hitler? Did they see him? Did he look different? These are some of the things that we have to ask them as far as what information is out right now. Because the stuff that they watched back then is not the stuff that we see right now. So this right here, this right, this grabbed my attention. This definitely grabbed my attention. In Jerusalem, Afro-Palestinians are the hardest hit in the Israeli so and so and so. All right. So that's something that I have to ask myself, like, what actually happened? Because if you look at this lady right here, her phenotype, like, who are, like, what is her heritage? Like, who are her parents' parents? Are these people that are just people who migrated from the continent and went over into Palestine, and like, how did they get there? Like, or are these people that just uniquely from that area? Because they have a phenotype of their own. All right, they have a phenotype of their own. So that's what I want to know. Like, why is their population so low? And that's also with the city here, because again, they're going toward only 2 million. So, like, why is that? All right. So you can see they also, these kids right here, they have their own phenotype. All right. You can see he has a square face. He has a square face. All right. So this is, all right. We gotta ask ourselves: were these the people here during World War II? Because we can't believe film. All right. We can't believe the reporter who's on the scene of the conflict. Like, we can't go back and read the news clippings and stuff like that. Like, we can't necessarily rely on the information that was put out back then, because we don't know if it's been edited, if it's been photoshopped. We don't know. Like, we really have to dive deep and see, like, what really went on during those times, and why are they mixing the conflicts that are going right on right now with the programmings of the African descent. Like, why are these two coinciding? Because no one knew about this city 20 years ago. No one knew about the Afro diaspora. Like, When I was growing up, the only thing that we knew about was Africa, and we didn't see Africans. We didn't know anything about Africans being in India. Like the idea that we was going to travel to India when we got older, like that was just out of the sense. Like we didn't think about those type of things, and then neither was it pushed to us. All right, we just knew about family down south. So this stuff right here just like it just make you scratch your head. Like why are their numbers so competingly low? All right. And on that note, I'll just go ahead and end it. And Mashako.